We commences. "Hey," says Bill, "nobody told us Elkins was going to conduct the ceremony. We was told a cultured gent from out of town was to do it." "Well," I says irritably, "Bear Creek is my home range, and I reckon I'm as cultured as any snake hunter here. If anybody thinks he's better qualified than me, step up whilst I stomp his ears off." Nobody volunteered. So I says, "All right." I tosses $1 to see who gets the first word. It fell for Harrison's gang, so I looked in the book at the first word marked, and it was a gal's name. "Catherine," I says. Nobody said nothing. "Catherine!" I roared, glaring at Lobo Harrison. "What you looking at me for?" he demanded. "I don't know no gal by that name." "Expletive deleted," I says with passion. "That's the word I give out. Spell it, damn it!" "Oh," says he. "All right. Katharinn. "That's wrong," I says. "What you mean wrong?" he roared. "That's right." "'Tain't according to the book," I says. "Dang the book!" says he. "I know my rights, and I ain't to be euchred by no ignorant grizzly from Bear Creek." "Who you callin' ignorant?" I demanded, stung. "Set down. You spelled it wrong." "You lie!" he howled, and went for his gun. But I fired first. When the smoke cleared away, I seen everybody was on their feet preparing for the stampede, such as weren't trying to crawl under the benches. So I said, "Set down, everybody. There ain't nothing to get excited about. The spelling match continues, and I'll shoot the first scoundrel which tries to leave the hall before the entertainment's over." Gooseneck hissed fiercely at me. "Damn it, be careful who you shoot, can't you? That was another one of my voters." "Drag him out," I commanded, wiping off some blood where a slug had notched my ear. "The spelling match is ready to commence again." There was a kind of tension in the air, men shuffling their feet and twisting their mustaches and hitching their gun belts, but I give no heed. I now approached the other side with my hand on my pistol, and says to Clanton, "Can you spell Catharine?" "Catharine," says he. "Right, by golly!" I says, consulting the French countess, and the audience cheered wildly and shot off their pistols into the roof. "Hey!" says Bill Stark on the other side. "That's wrong. Make him sit down. It spells with a K." "He spelt it just like it is in the book," I says. "Look for yourself." "I don't give a damn!" he yelled, rudely knocking the French countess out of my hand. "It's a misprint. It spells with a K, or there'll be more blood on the floor. He spelt it wrong, and if he don't set down, I shoots him down." "I'm running this show," I bellered, beginning to get mad. "You gotta shoot me before you shoots anybody else." "With pleasure," snarled he, and went for his gun. Well, I hit him on the jaw with my fist, and he went to sleep amongst the wreckage of busted benches. Gooseneck jumped up with a maddened shriek. "Dang your soul, Breckenridge!" he squalled. "Quit canceling my votes! Who are you working for, me or Hawkins?" "Haw, haw, haw!" bellered Hawkins. "Go on with the show. This is the funniest thing I ever seen." Wham! The door crashed open and in pranced old Jake Hansen, waving a shotgun. "Welcome to the festivities, Jake," I greeted him. "Where's—" "You son of a skunk!" quoth he, and let go at me with both barrels. The shot scattered remarkable. I didn't get more than 5 or 6 of 'em, and the rest distributed freely amongst the crowd. You ought to 'a' heard 'em holler. The folks, I mean, not the buckshot. "What in tarnation are you doing?" shrieked Gooseneck. "Where's Snake River?"
"Gone," howled old Jake. "Run off. Eloped with my daughter."
Bull Hawkins riz with a howl of anguish, convulsively clutching his whiskers. "Salome!" he bellowed.
"Eloped? With a cussed gambolier they brung over from Alderville," bleated old Jake, doing a war dance in his passion. "Elkins and Wilkerson persuaded me to take that snake into my bosom. In spite of my pleas and protests, they forced him into my peaceful, expletive-deleted household, and he stole the poor mutton-headed innocent's blasted heart with his cultured airs and his slick talk. They've run off to get married." "It's a political plot!" shrieked Hawkins, going for his gun. "Wilkerson done it a purpose." I shot the gun out of his hand, but Jack Clanton crashed a bench down on Gooseneck's head, and Gooseneck kissed the floor. Clanton come down on top of him, out cold, as Mule McGrath swung with a pistol butt, and the next instant somebody lammed Mule with a brick bat, and he flopped down against Clanton, and then the fight was on. Them rival political factions just kind of riz up and rolled together in a wave of profanity, gun smoke, and splintering benches. I have always noticed that the best thing to do in such cases is to keep your temper, and that's what I did for some time, in spite of the efforts of 9 or 10 wild-eyed Hawkinites. I didn't even shoot one of 'em. I kept my head and battered their skulls with a joist I tore out of the floor, and when I knocked 'em down I didn't stomp on 'em hardly any. But they kept coming, and Jack McDonald was obsessed with the notion that he could ride me to the floor by jumping up astraddle of my neck. So he done it, and having discovered his idea was a hallucination, he got a fistful of my hair with his left and started beating me in the head with his pistol barrel. It was very annoying. Simultaneous, several other misfits got hold of my legs, trying to wrestle me down, and some son of Belial stomped severely on my toe. I had bore my afflictions as patient as Job up to that time, but this perfidy maddened me. I give a roar which loosened the shingles on the roof, and kicked the toe stomper in the belly with such fury that he curled up on the floor with a holler groan and taken no more interest in the proceedings. I likewise busted my timber on somebody's skull, and retched up and pulled Jack McDonald off my neck like pulling a tick off a bull's hide, and hev him through a convenient winder. He's a liar when he says I aimed him deliberate at that rain barrel. I didn't even know they was a rain barrel till I heard his head crash through the staves. I then shook 9 or 10 idiots loose from my shoulders and shook the blood out of my eyes, and perceived that Gooseneck's men was getting the worst of it, particularly including Gooseneck himself. So I give another roar and prepared to wade through them fool Hawkinites like a bar through a pack of hound dogs, when I discovered that some perfidious sidewinder had got my spur tangled in his whiskers. I stooped to untangle myself just as a charge of buckshot ripped through the air where my head had been an instant before. 3 or 4 critters was rushing me with bowie knives, so I give a wrench and tore loose by main force. How could I help it if most of the whiskers come loose too? I grabbed me a bench to use for a club, and I mowed the whole first rank down with one swipe, and then as I drawed back for another lick, I heard somebody yelling above the melee. "Gold!" he shrieked. Everybody stopped like they was froze in their tracks.